And my thanks to all those speakers who came before me, and especially the chairman for the night meeting, Chairman Dana Singh. I want to welcome all of you here tonight. This must be our 17th or 18th Cottage meeting, and we have 82 more to go. The point, however, is that while I was coming here tonight, I remember that Calypso, Sparrow Dead. And they were singing and saying Sparrow Dead. And they were even crying as well. And when Sparrow came to Trinidad, everybody saying, no, he ain't dead. And they were pinching him to see if he's alive and so on. And Sparrow wasn't dead. The same thing with Jack Warner. Everybody wants to see Jack Warner leave here. All day, all night, they are pushing for Jack Warner to leave here. Jack Warner ain't going anywhere. He ain't going now. He ain't going next 5 years. He ain't going next 10 years. He ain't going next 15 years. He ain't going ever. And he will take that and carry to the bank. To the bank. I saw today from a foreign newspaper that the US government had a charge for me, for FIFA wiring for me on December 2010. FIFA wired to Jack Warner in Trinidad $290,000. And the money passed through a bank in New York and came to me. And they charged me for wire fraud. Now, if after 30 years in FIFA, I was over 30 years. 30 years in FIFA, and December 2010, FIFA wired me $290,000. FIFA have money for me still. FIFA have money for me still. After all, I spent 30 years here. December is Christmas. And you sent for me a wire transfer to a bank in New York for $290,000. That is the kind of absurdity you are having. And that is why you guys right. You can't, after 2 years of investigation, after 5 weeks after having been given this provisional warrant, 5 weeks, and today, up to today, they can't lay a charge yet. But I tell you something, I ain't running, I ain't hiding. All I say to them, bring it on. Bring it on, because I know when they bring it on, it will be a long, hot summer. You see, the point is, they don't seem to understand that there are people in this world for whom money does not mean much. Had money meant much to me, for 5 years, I would never have taken a salary of $1 a month. For 5 years. For 5 years, my salary was $60 total. They don't understand that. They don't understand. For 5 years, I have never taken a government loan to buy a car of any kind. Tax-free. I didn't want that. Because I didn't go in there to see about myself and to make money. After 2 years, you sell the car and buy another one again. That doesn't happen. For 5 years, you don't understand that not once have I ever traveled on the government expense. For 5 years, there are ministers who live in on planes because they understand after 5 years they can't go anywhere. And I went, once I traveled on government business, once to Jamaica, and I paid my own expenses. So what will I tell you? My of course track record is there. There is no cabinet minister here, now or before, who has ever been more generous to people than I have been. And when they come to me, I don't ask them what party they're from, what religion. I don't care. Because anybody who comes to me and asks for help, because he or she needs help. Sometimes you may believe that the person's problem may seem small to you, but to the person, that problem is the end of the world. And therefore, I sleep very soundly at night, just 2-3 hours, but very soundly, because I have nothing to fear. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not fear. I shall not fear. What worries me, however, and I say tonight and for the next 3 nights, what worries me is that the U.S. has a provisional warrant for me. The U.S. charged me. I, Jack Warner, have to find my own money to defend myself. If the U.S. charged me, why should the government of Trinidad and Tobago have to pay lawyers for the U.S.? The U.S. charged me, and they will let the U.S. find their own lawyers. Why should this country, taxpayers' money, be used to prop up a case for the U.S. which they say they have? That beats me, my friend. I don't understand why taxpayers' money have to be used to pay English QC, to pay 5 lawyers in Trinidad, to defend a claim by the U.S. And Jack Warner has to use his money, Canada remaining, to defend himself. That for me is patently unfair. And if somebody would explain to me the rationale behind that, then I will try to understand. But at the end of the day, I don't bother too much about the US. I have, of course, my humble view, the best legal team and the God behind it. So don't even worry. And I say to you again tonight, I'll be here, not for 5 years, 10 or 15, I'll be here for a very, very long time. So all of those, like Munilal, who says, by the end of July, are gone, I have news for them. Yesterday, after the Express came out, in the afternoon, they were saying, by lunchtime today, I'm serious. Today I'm planning to go today I'm going to go to Venezuela. Yes, I'm going on to Venezuela to teach us on a pirogue. The same kind of boat. The same kind of boat the government bought to protect and serve this country. A pirogue. I was taking one to go to Venezuela to hide. You see the absurdity? You see the absurdity? But I don't want us to spend much time here tonight on that, because I came for other more important business. And I come to ask Claxton, first of all, when last did they see the MP? Never. I tell you this. If you don't, what's his name is true? What's his name is true? I tell you this. If ever a parliamentarian, if ever an MP has neglected his constituency, MacLeod is that person. MacLeod. Everyone MacLeod. That's his name. If they have 4 parliamentarians in the history of this country who have neglected his people, MacLeod alone is 16. 16. And therefore tonight we are here to tell you why you must not go back there. But as always, I was there with you at the beginning. It was I who came here to you and told you to vote for MacLeod. Like you, I do believe in a new dawn, a new era after 2010. But like you, I was fooled, I was tricked. I say welcome to the Japanese people from the West. From quite Tokyo, Japan. The guy is leading in that picture. And I never have that still up. But it's alright, come on. So I'm saying therefore, give me this back there, you know. So I'm saying therefore, we have more important things to discuss. And one of the things we have to discuss is the kind of lie which the UNC and his people imposed on the country. We went to this country 2010 because we said that we would do things better than the PNM. That we as a government, I was with them then, would bring crime down in the first 120 days. But I'll tell you something, after 5 years, not only has crime gotten worse, but the people of enterprise can't come outside. Can't come outside after 5 years. After 5 years, the murder rate is not lower, it is higher. After 5 years, we said we do things better. And the Prime Minister lied to the nation. She lied to us as a people. And what is sad, I should have known this very early. I didn't see it. I was blinded. I should have known very early when the Prime Minister said that the $3,000 pension per month, she had never said from age 60 but 65. And was a misprint. And foolishly didn't know that was the first lie. And she has never stopped lying since then. I'm lying. I don't think I'm lying just now. Never stopped lying since then. And what they impose on this country, therefore, and what they impose on Pointe-à-Pitre as a whole, is a series of lies. And because the Prime Minister lied, she lies when she says she doesn't know anything about Jack Warner being a financier. Nobody asked him. Nobody asked her. But she showed him, run away from FIFA money. She said, I was never helped by Jack Warner. I have no financiers. I do a raffle for $10 million, and that will help us. When you raffle, Pierre? When you raffle? When are we gone? When the cars when you raffle? Not having finished that, she said, she never stayed in the house in St. Augustine. And when I put the picture in the papers, she bent her head. She lied. She said about Section 34, that of course was not passed to save 2 persons. She lied. She said also too, she doesn't know anything about Christian Gokul. Until it was exposed to her, she lied. And the list goes on and on and on. And because of that, you see many of our ministers also lying. So when you had Annie Roberts in a room with some women and some cigarettes, alright, and some cigarettes that look like marijuana. He said he wasn't there. Because if the Prime Minister could lie, and he said to himself that if the Prime Minister could lie, he could lie too. That's what he said. You see? And today, in the Sunshine newspaper, look at here. Today, in the Sunshine newspaper, you have Playboy Devon with a woman, carousing and so on. Today, you know what he said? Devon said, that is not he. That is not he. He says camera tricks. Because if this Prime Minister could lie, he could lie too. That's what he said. And this paper here was put on Facebook at noon today. And an hour ago, it had 103,000 hits. 103,000 hits. Ironically enough, in local government, we get 103,000 votes. I tell you, this, not him. And when she comes to the fetish, you'll hear she say again, that is not he. That's not he. Jane Harding, of his own volition, came to my office, want to talk, want to belch, want to vomit. I said, go ahead. I said to him, can I tape you? He said, yes. On the tape, you hear him say, yes. My name is Jane Harding from Valencia, so and so and so and so. I didn't ask him that. How I know all the things he's talking about? Jane Harding said, that's not his voice. He lied. Because if the Prime Minister could lie, he could lie too. And therefore, throughout this government's reign, we have been swimming in a sea of lies, a sea of corruption, a sea of bacchanal. No government in this country, in this country's history, has ever faced so many bacchanals as this government. No government. You will never hear any government having anybody coming in the house at 2 in the morning with marijuana. You will never find anybody, even now when Manning is sick in his house in Vista Bella, you will never find founds of marijuana on their windowsill. Nowhere, because at the end of the day, these guys live disciplined lives. You understand that when you become Prime Minister, you have to change the way you used to live. When I became CONCACAF president, I began to wear suit, you know. Suit. I used to do running from shop and so on. I stopped. I used to lie by the corner. I stopped because I was CONCACAF president. When I became FIFA vice president, I wear bigger and better suit. And talk slower. because I walk higher. And FIFA vice president. So I knew, therefore, that my way of life had to change. If you want to become Prime Minister of this country, it means, therefore, that smoking and drinking and carousing, these things must go through the back door. It means that when people look up to you, they say, there goes my Prime Minister with some pride. Because in life, there are things in life that money can't buy. They may have all the money from kickbacks. They may have all the money, if they don't have pride in themselves, they lost. And money cannot buy pride. Money cannot buy decency. Either you have it or you don't have it. And we are saddened by the fact that today, our Prime Minister is the laughing stock of the Caribbean. Because as far as you go from Cuba in the north to Guyana in the south, no other leader could tell you they have faced so many bacchanals, so many drug problems, inside and outside, as our Prime Minister. And she says she wants to go back for a second term. If even that were the case, and if even you took God from your thoughts, you would put her back and then accept Ramadan as agent. You put her back and have SAS and Calco and Danis as contractors. At what point in time you will ask yourself for a fair share? Where is your fair share? Are you better off today than you were 5 years ago? No. Yeah, obviously. When I look through the problems of Claxton Bay today has no community center after 5 years. But I'm telling you, I told today, no community center. When they came here, they promised the fishermen to have a fishing bay in Claxton Bay. After 5 years, Claxton Bay has no fishing bay. Nothing at all. 5 years. Almost $400 billion. Look where Claxton Bay is. Look where the oil comes from. Look where the oil comes from. You could throw a stone in an oil well. And not a cent for Claxton Bay. Nothing. The roads from Macaulay to St. Margaret are the worst ever. Worst ever. Are you better off, I ask you? Are you better off? The squatters at Union have no help to get. Ask yourself, how many persons in Claxton Bay ever got an AGC house? Ask yourself about the drainage system in St. Margaret. When rain falls and the drains are filled because they are clogged, not even the drain they'll fix. Ask yourself about the roads in Pleasant Park. Yes, in Pleasant Park, but the roads there. And ask yourself if you as a people deserve that. Ask yourself also why Gopi Singh has not paid the light bill at the community center when you had the Union Presbyterian School, the light bill is not $20,000. Yes. Hey, I didn't know it. You think I didn't know? You think I didn't know? You feel like comment just so. Just so. The light bill at the center is now $20,000. That center at the Union Presbyterian School, the school office did not, and Bobby Singh has refused to pay the light bill. And before this campaign is finished, I'll tell them no, Bobby Singh. But at the moment, not tonight. Not tonight. So therefore, I'm saying to you, therefore, you have to ask yourself, if you're better off, the recreation grounds you have, what kind of lighting system you have? None. None. And the list goes on and on. And then you come in to tell me that you want a second tour. You know, I told Rita and they that we won't allow them to distract us. So therefore, anybody who wants to hear me talk about Anna Dinner will be wrong place. Will be wrong place. You could read about her. You could read about her. But I ain't talking about her. Because we won't allow ourselves to get distracted. We shall remain focused. And therefore we are saying to you in Claxton that you deserve better. You deserve a government from the ILP that knows about representation, about action and performance. That's what you have to do. You, as my chairman would say, you can't have a seesaw politics, PNM, UNC, PNM, UNC, PNM. That can't be right. And what we have come to do, therefore, is to give you an alternative. Because there are far too many people in this country who are neither PNM nor UNC. They hate both sides. If one is not Afro, one is Indo. But we, the ILP, embrace everybody. Nobody will point a finger at us and say, we one or the other. We have fish, we have fowl. That's the point. And therefore, that makes us attractive. As a party, we have the youngest membership ever. We have more young members in our party than any other party. And if that doesn't mean that we are, as a party, are preparing for succession, then nothing else will. This is the chance. In Saidoni, Christian Charles, Giovanni, in Salvador East, always talking and espousing the cause. Tomorrow night we shall go on as West. Will be the same thing. The following day shall go on as East. Will be the same thing. And throughout the country, we are getting the message. The message that the time for change, the time for change must be a change for the ILP. I know many of you are anxious to see our manifesto. I say again, in the fullness of time, the manifesto shall be given to all of you. It is a work of art. And in that manifesto, you will know how we are going to treat countries, areas, constituencies like Port-au-Prince. Because the point is, I said again in Hattersburg last Sunday, that Port-au-Prince's problem can't be the same as Port Spain South. Port-au-Prince's problem can't be the same as Siberia. I mean, of course not. Of course not. Of course, Siberia has no problem.
Not at all.
They have no problem. Next week, this sunset almost finished. I have about 6 remain, I think, for tomorrow. But next week, you can know. But next week, sunshine, you'll see a comparison between Siberia and some constituencies on the east-west corridor. And you'll feel you're living in a different world. A different world. And the same government, the same taxpayers' money. What makes Siberia better than anywhere else? Or push east and west? What? Why should they better out than Laventille? Or to Apuna, or St. Joseph, or Port-au-Prince? And therefore, making the point to you, when the time comes, if you want to free yourself from this curse that you have had for the last 5 years, you have one thing to do with this finger. This finger is the most powerful tool you have in the next 5 years. And the last day to do so is July 23rd. So go and register particularly young people, 23rd. Go and register, young people. Join us in this caravan for change. When we come back here, we want to know for a fact that Pointe-a-Pierre not only behind us, but Pointe-a-Pierre will vote for us. And the only way that vote for us is if you are registered. Everybody is asking, who's the candidate for Pointe-a-Pierre? We said, take it easy, take it easy. We said before that nobody would jump in this party. Nobody would let us make or say who our candidates are before our time. And in fullness of time, therefore, we shall tell you who's your candidate. And when we do, I tell you, for the people to see how much highly we think of them. When we do, you'll see how highly we think of you. Because at the end of the day, we are putting any crackle here. Some people say put a crackle on the barricade, the bound to win, on the rising sun. We are putting no crackle here. We are putting somebody here who will represent your interests, who will articulate your problems, who will bring you up to them and you will meet them, because at the end of the day, your problems must be what you come together and say about. We will have a system here where even the work that is being done here will be work that you take a part in. You will sit down as a community and decide which box bridge you build and where, and who the workers must be. At the end of the work, you will sit down and say it has been done properly, not some drain like Calco going uphill and downhill and so on. Those are Calco drains. You have to have drains and building, you build them for Pointe-a-Pierre. And therefore I'm saying, in every facet of life, Pointe-a-Pierre must take a part in some business, education, that your schools are important, that your children are going to taking care of, old age, taking care of them. We went Sunday to Hatters. If you see Hatters, no, I mean Hatters, no, Hatters, Spaniard. Hatters, Spaniard, if you see it, if you see train line, if you see them estate, if you see the Bangladesh, for a country of 1.3 million people, where they spend almost $400 billion. This government has spent in 5 years what the last government spent in 15 years. We are coming just now on the highway, and Mama asked me, look at your hospital, $1.6 billion. When the ambulance comes to the hospital, where pass it? You have the highway going south, and one coming south. So one highway going south, one going south north. The ambulance coming from south. Where going to the hospital? How? For the ambulance to go to the hospital, has to wash your warners. They build a hospital, you know. But for an ambulance to go there from San Fernando, it has to wash your warners. And they build a hospital for $1.6 billion. Then Consulta sold that same hospital was built in Shogunas for $120 million. But the kickback will be too small. So $1.6 billion in over to your hospital. And the other hospital have no drugs, no beds, no equipment. That's their thinking. That's their thinking. They are today on the papers and notice from tomorrow, where they of course are paving roads helter-skelter. All over the paving roads, Piaco to Napuna and so on, the paving roads. And the same roads they are paving, I tell you, in less than 1 month, they'll be of course, won't be happily paved again. In Arima, they paved some roads where in the very same week of paving, there were large drains going through the roads. That's what the wind force. They don't understand. This government doesn't understand that times have changed. There was a time when paving roads would have given you vote. There was a time when giving you back pay, some people voting would have given you votes. There was a time when they would have given you all kinds of gifts and they vote for them. That has changed. And if the government had sense, the government would have realized that in Tobago THA election, they gave Tobago all the gifts they wanted. More food cards than food. In Tobago, they lost 12 seats. In Shawana's West, they came down there in their battle gear. They came with Shawan's best. They had contractors throughout the constituency. Throughout. Some of them today have not even been paid. And hoping that they use this to win election. At the end of the day, they lost in 51 polling stations. 51. Not a single one they won. And the fact is they have. They don't understand that times have changed. If the last meetings they're having, an Englishman has to tell them that ain't making sense. That ain't making sense. And I said it in Hattas Spaniard, and we can say for a long time. It's true, we have discussion meetings, small, talk to you, talk to us, afterwards, grab and clean and so on. That makes more sense. It is of course almost a kind of informal language, so to speak. But an Englishman had to come to tell that. So at the end of the day, we are saying, they are behind time. They are where we, in this country, left many years ago. As I close, therefore, I ask you to do one thing for your children. If not for you, for your children. Because the fact is, if you love your children, you cannot do anything else but vote for ILP. I thank you.